Hey folks, this is Colin Richards, president and founder of Lord & Richards. And I'm very excited to be talking to you today about how you can achieve financial independence. I work with a fantastic team of investment advisors and planners who have incredible expertise in helping people just like you to retire financially independent. And so we want to help you today to answer yet another question in this segment. And here it is. I've had a number of people who have lived through the recent market downturn and volatility, and they've started to ask this question, Colin, I'm a pretty conservative person. Is it possible to take low or even zero risk and still have growth in my portfolio? Here it is again. Is it possible to take low or even zero risk and still get growth and have opportunity in my portfolio? And the answer is simply, we can teach you how to build a portfolio that truly reflects your feelings and goals about risk and growth, even if you prefer to take no risk. We work with folks all over the map. Some are much more comfortable with risk, others are less comfortable. And here's the key. It might surprise you to know this, but the opportunity for growth is the same whether you're taking risk or not. It really is more a matter of your decision-making about liquidity. Many Americans are swimming in seas of liquidity that they don't need, and they're giving up the things that are most important to them, safety and growth. So here are the steps that we take with clients every day, just like you, to help you build a portfolio that has low or no risk, if that's your desire. And if you say, well, Colin, I'm going to tune out because I'm really fine with risk. Here's the great thing. You can take more risk, you can have more liquidity, and you can build a portfolio that perfectly suits your goals. So step number one, you do need some really liquid money in case you have an emergency or for the things you got planned coming up, maybe a vacation or a car purchase, or maybe mom and dad are going to pay for a wedding. We call that step one an emergency fund. In our scheme of color, it's green. We call it green money, emergency money, checking, savings, money market, down at the credit union, or just buried in the backyard or under your mattress, wherever it is, someplace where you can get to that money. It's liquid, it's safe. Okay? Step number two. Oh, and by the way, don't put it all there, right? Because there's no growth. Notice I didn't say growth. Very little in a checking or savings or money market or mattress account. Okay? So we typically need, 3 to 6 months expenses. Step number two, we call a growing reserve. This is the opportunity to put growth on additional liquid money, because sometimes our bank account isn't enough to deal with everything that life dishes out, and we put it in a growing reserve that can grow and is liquid. But this is where the risk is. We call it blue money. Our blue money has the risk. So what are we going to do? Well, if your risk tolerance or your emotional feeling about risk is very high, well, we can build out a full portfolio that has more liquidity because we're going to have more money in the blue money. But if your risk tolerance is low, we're going to minimize how much we put into the blue money and maybe have more green money, a little bit more money that's not growing, but it's still safe and liquid. But now we're going to really emphasize the third column. If your risk tolerance is low, green money, checking, savings, blue money, that's where the risk is, our growing reserve. And now step three, the most important step if you want growth and safety on the same dollar at the same time, protected money. And we color that red money. So first, how are we going to do that? How are we going to have a column of money, a fund of money that's safe and growing? Well, first, we're going to put it in a nice, safe place. You can go 3 places to get safety today besides your mattress. You can go to the bank. You already knew that. You can go to insurance companies. Those old whole life insurance policies or fixed universal life policies, they guarantee that your money will be safe and returned to you either as cash or a death benefit, depending on how it's designed. And then good old-fashioned fixed annuities, been around over a century. They're like the annuity version or the insurance version of a CD. Low or no fees, a guaranteed rate of return, and absolutely backed and guaranteed. So all of those have the ability to keep your money safe. We call this money your goose. Okay, you say, why are you talking about a goose, Colin? Well, we tell the fable of the goose that laid the golden egg. And if you have a goose and it has the ability to lay a golden egg each year, which is more important to keep safe? Are you tracking with me? I say the goose, right? Because your egg is a renewable resource and you can get that back the next year if you lose it. But the goose, you lose it, your goose is cooked. So be willing, if you would like, to go longer term in order to get growth, right? This is your area of compromise. Greater liquidity forces you to take either risk or settle for no growth. But reducing some of that liquidity, being more mature in your investments, having a longer time horizon, such as when you invested in IRAs or 401ks before you were retired, that's your compromise. But now, by taking a little bit longer term on your goose, the bank, the insurance company, the fixed annuity company, now you're able to safely, without risk, yield maybe 2 or 3% on average. Okay? We call this your golden egg. You say, well, it doesn't sound very golden to me. I can't live on 2 or 3%, Colin. Well, it's a renewable resource. So would it be okay if we would risk that egg in order to get more? So the next step is to allow the bank, insurance company, or fixed annuity company to leverage the daylights out of that golden egg and try to multiply it. They will literally go into the financial markets and spend that egg on highly leveraged tools like market index options. You say, I don't know what that is. Well, come on in. I'll explain it. But looking back over time, we have seen that these banks and insurance companies and annuity companies typically will just about double your golden egg on average. So taking that 2 or 3% return on up to maybe more like 4. And using new tools at our disposal today, we have the potential to even see an average return of much, much more. Now, in individual years, when the egg produces results, it may actually yield a far greater return than just double or triple. But remember, during down years in the market, you've lost that egg. It's been leveraged, but your goose is safe back at home in the principal. So we can teach you about how to do this, and it puts a larger golden egg back in your protected portfolio, resulting in compounding over time. Rinse, wash, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat. So for a client who wants low or zero risk, we simply reduce the amount of at-risk money and maximize the protected money where there's still growth. And I'm glad to say that my clients who pursued safe, protected strategies never lost a dime of their money during the 2008 and 2009 crash, but still had the opportunity to grow when the market recovered. If that's what you're looking for, it just takes a simple conversation for us to teach you how to have growth with little or no risk here at Lord & Richards.